Yeah, absolutely.
And that leads me to ask you, and there might not be a right time, but do you feel that there's a certain age? I know people develop at different stages in life, but when it's right for a teenage girl, for example, to have a social media account, because girls are so disproportionately impacted by some of this stuff, as we talked about body image, for example, earlier on.
It's really difficult. Officially, the age is 13. So if you are under 13, officially you shouldn't have a social media account. Again, what we do know is that many teenagers do. And as I mentioned earlier, the tipping point is that kind of 10 to 12 age group
Yes.
when it almost doubles in the amount of social media accounts. Talk to your parents about whether it's appropriate for you to have social media, how you're going to manage that. Keep those communication lines open. But really, a lot of this will depend on individuals about whether they think it's, they're ready to have this kind of access to social media. And a lot of it will depend on parents as well. But I
Mm.
would be open with your parents, talk to them about why you want it and why you want to use it, because it's important that they know that you have a profile. What you wouldn't want is as a parent, is for your child to have a profile and you not necessarily know about it.
That's absolutely correct. And one of the things that I'd love to talk to you about is Snapchat. I do not
Yes.
understand Snapchat. So talk to us about how it works and whether it's one of those difficult things to govern and whether it's even still a player.
Oh, absolutely a player. Yeah, teenagers love it. They love the kind of nature of it. I would say that it's probably, top three. And as you say, it's built on a principle that people can share videos or pictures and it disappears within a few seconds. It's changed quite a lot over the last few years in terms of its functionality. It's become a lot more popular. So you can now you've gone from being able to just sharing snaps with a person to now sharing stories or broadcasting with multiple people. And one of the things that young people love, teenagers and girls especially love, is the filters that you can put on Snapchat, like the funny noses and the
Yes.
ears and all that kind of thing. You can locate people on there as well, so you know where they are. So if you're chatting to your friends, you know where they are, which can sometimes cause problems, because if one of your friends said, "Oh, would you like to go out tonight?" and you said, "No, I'm staying in, I'm not going anywhere," and then your friend can see that you're out at the park or
Oh.
out down the street. So sometimes it's best to have what's called ghost mode on there so that people don't know where you are. And I would certainly advise young girls to have ghost mode on, especially in that context, so you wouldn't necessarily know where people are. But sometimes people find it useful to know where they are. It is really tricky to police because of the nature of it and the fact that the imagery disappears.
Mm.
Snapchat have been investigated in the US around data breaches, and from the Federal Trade Commission. I'll get my teeth in. So they are kind of keeping an eye on Snapchat because they've lost quite a lot of data over the years. So it's I would say to your girls and your young listeners, make sure that what you're sharing on there is appropriate and you feel happy about it, because for the most part you don't own that imagery. You are effectively giving away your rights to that imagery by signing up to the kind of terms and conditions in the first place. And Snapchat isn't the only one that does that. Most of them
Mm.
do. But be mindful and be aware of what you're sharing. The Children's Commissioner a couple of years ago did a project with a law firm in London looking at what we're signing over when we sign up to terms and conditions of social media sites. And it effectively says we can use your photos, we can use all the content that you generate through using our app for all of us. But it's incredibly hard to police as a parent. Really difficult because you can share something, it's gone within 15 seconds. But the key to this is really about talking. It's always about talking to your kids, always about talking to your parents and kind of being open and transparent about things.
Mm. I think that's absolutely brilliant advice. And it's so key to reiterate and point out that, okay, it's very difficult to police and it disappears in 15 seconds, but it's still with that company and it still
Yeah.
could come back to haunt you one day. So the same principles and rules that you apply to sharing images and data and on social media in general has to apply to Snapchat as well. Because
Mm.
I think it's so easy to think, nobody's ever going to see it. It's going to disappear in 15 seconds. So I can just put this out, really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. We're really getting a lot of wonderful information. And so let's talk about, the values versus the danger of having social media accounts. How do we get our teenagers in particular to balance this out?
I think you've used a key word there. The key word is balance. I think having social media can be really powerful. It can help you to project yourself incredibly positively. So when you are leaving school to go to university or to get a job, you can use your social media as a platform to promote yourself and promote the kinds of things that you're about. And it can help you get a job. It can help you to go on to the next stage of your life. And I think we are living in a world where it's incredibly difficult for teenagers to not have any social media. And certainly through the work that I've done in schools, I haven't met many teenagers and many teenage girls who don't have any social media at all. I've met some, and for some of them, it was a very conscious decision that they decided that it was, too disruptive for them. I think this is about enjoying other things in life as well. So making sure that you do have that contact face to face with other
Mm.
people, and making sure that there are other things that are going on in your life. And because social media can be a huge distraction as well. If you're at home trying to get your homework done, or you're trying to write something, or if you're trying to sort of, switch off, it can be incredibly distracting, and it's quite a hard skill to master. You don't have that compulsion to kind of check all the time and to look to see if someone's liked your Instagram post. So
Hmm.
I think we need to help young people and teenagers to self-regulate a little bit.
Yes.
And I always say to my son, if I need to be that person for you until you get to the stage where you can self-regulate yourself, then I am happy to be that person. So I am happy to take your phone off you while you're doing your work if you want me to be that person. And generally, he's quite good. But sometimes we need a little bit of help to not follow through with that compulsion all the time, because even adults have that compulsion to check things, and it's all notifications going off, and checking if somebody's liked your post and then feeling terrible if somebody hasn't liked your post. So it's really important that we get that balance right between offline and online.
That's really key. Thanks so much for that.